Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round 4 of season 2 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at Baku here today. If you guys missed the last episode for the Chinese Grand Prix, watch the video guys by clicking on the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. Also guys, I forgot to mention it yesterday, but it is official, and for any of you that missed the community post on my tweets, literally yesterday it happened. The Austrian Grand Prix from season 1 finally got unblocked. So that will also be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen and the link down below in the description. So guys, if you did miss Austria or you wanted to watch Austria from season 1, you can now watch the video guys as it is now live, and YouTube removed my copyright strike and block. So go watch that video guys, and if you haven't missed it and you're curious and you wonder what happened in that race, you can now watch it. Now for this one, we are here at Baku like I mentioned, and I've stuck with 104% AI, which is what we ran in the last race at China, because it worked pretty well for us in the race, and we're going to see how we go and how that works for us in this one. And I hope you guys also appreciate the new look to the videos lately. I've put on a few new animations and graphics courtesy of Dylan Designs. I'll put a link down below in the description, as he hooked me up with a new kind of sub button, a new Twitter kind of plug, and also outro, and also team radio graphic, which you'll see in the race, which you guys, a lot of you gave me some good feedback for yesterday in the episode around the Chinese Grand Prix. Now for this race in Baku, we don't have any upgrades, but it's the last race with this car, which we've had exactly the same since Australia, as in the next race we have 2 big major upgrades on the way, and hopefully we can add to that in this episode and really make sure we've got some big upgrades on the way for the next couple of races, and fingers crossed that will be the case. Now currently we are in qualifying, and after practice we had a pretty good session. We scored pretty much almost maximum points in all of the programs, and I felt confident for once in Baku. I actually felt quite happy with the car, and 104 seemed to be a good value for me with the AI pace, and a value where I knew I could fight and have a good race. And as you can see, we got in Q1, and we're going to hit the track on the soft compound tyres and try and do one run only and call it a day. And so far sector 1 pretty much 4 tenths down on Pierre Gasly, who's currently setting the pace in the Mercedes, and then down to sector 2. You can see here just making sure we take it nice and easy, and we lost a little bit of time to be fair through sector 2, and we are still within range though, 9 tenths off the pace. But then the final sector was really good for me because my setup is really good for straight line speed, and we actually caught up some of that gap, and we actually went down to 6 tenths of a second, so we found 3 tenths in the final sector, setting a purple sector in the process, and we go P7 in positions, and eventually we'd end up the session in P8 as Sebastian Vettel's P3, Pierre Gasly leading the way from Mercedes, and Charles Leclerc P2, with both of the Red Bulls on the medium tyre in 6th and 7th. Now we move into Q2, and I tried my luck on the mediums on my first run, and this was the first time I'd seen the Red Bulls run the soft tyre all weekend, and they were really quick. Really quick around here. You can see after 2 sectors, 2.99 down or 2.8 down, are really off the pace. It wasn't even a bad lap, it's just the medium was really slow, simple as that. So yeah, I knew I could find some time in the final sector, and I did, down to 2.5, but ultimately we're still P15 and way off the pace. And I went back out on the soft compound tyres, and the lap was going pretty decently. I did actually have end plate damage, and I hit my front wing off again for a second time, as you saw there. So my wing went from yellow to orange, and then we made one more mistake here on the exit.
Are you alright? Engine off, engine off.
And yeah, it was the end of a scruffy lap. You know, like I said, we got light yellow damage at the start of the lap, but I still continued to push on. Because it was only yellow, I could actually go faster because I was so slow on my first run, and I was on target to go through. But then when I hit the wall the second time and got the damage, that was really heavy impact, and that really hurt me. And then yeah, eventually you can see the gaps, and we finished P15. So unfortunately, it's 4 races this season, but we've not got to Q3. But having said that, we got, you know, 3rd in Australia, 4th in the last race, 4th in Bahrain, 3rd in the last race. Can we try and have a good result here today? Again, let's find out. But with that being said, that is qualifying in the books. But we're now going to move into the race for round number 4 of season 2 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at Baku, and let's see if we could try and turn this around.
How will not making Q3 affect your strategy tomorrow? We've not seen much development progression for your car recently. Why is that? Well, thanks anyway.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few run-off zones, Many are expecting a safety car here today, so our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully away from the barriers. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometres and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Anthony Davidson joins me today as we look ahead to something just a little bit different. It's quite high speed for a street circuit here, isn't it? Do you think that's going to throw up any unexpected situations?
Well, as long as the teams can keep everything cool, I don't foresee any particular big issues from a technical side of things. I do expect the track to be quite slippery though. We've not exactly had much chance to rubber in the surface. Any street circuit also comes with its own challenges, so I think we'll be seeing a few mistakes here and there. The smart strategy would be to expect a safety car, I think, especially early on when the pack is bunched up.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Lucas Faber and Bottas, Magnussen, Leclerc, Perez and Kimi Raikkonen, Butler, Stroll, George Russell and Ricciardo, Martinez, Giovinazzi, Alexander Albon and Daniel Kvyat. Sainz and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid, and with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, so here we are then on the grid for round 4 for the Baku GP, or the Azerbaijan GP, and we start the race from P15 after a very poor qualifying, a very messy qualifying, but I feel optimistic because the pace we had in Q1 gave me some confidence that I think we do have a decent car underneath us. I've kept it at 104% AI, that's now 3 sessions in a row now. We did race in China, qualifying here, and also race here on 104. So I'm starting to find some consistency in terms of AI difficulty. But yeah, that'll probably go back up again for the next race in Spain. Either way, in terms of strategy here today, we're going to start the race on the mediums and go onto the hards. No chance of rain, and we're running 1 extra lap of fuel. So yeah, we're just going to go for it pretty much and try our best. Try and be tactical, make the overtakes on the straights, and try not to fall into too many slipstream battles, and try and fight for that clean air, and try and do our thing, and let the strategy do the talking. With that being said, let's just jump into it and let's see how we get on. It's time for round 4 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's try and get a nice, good, clean start. Revs into the sweet spot. 5 lights are on. Lights out and away we go. Pretty decent start. I'm going to try and cover off the inside, but Giovinazzi's going to send one. Oh, this is awkward. Gio's going to push me wide into George Russell, but we just about get out of it, as we're up to P14, so we've actually gained a position here. Let's try and focus on our exit out of turn 2. Let's see what we're like for straight line speed. Ricciardo and Stroll side by side, both the Renault and the Racing Point. We're going to see if we can try and get on the outside here of Danny Rick. Stroll as well, going very slow on the inside line. We're going to go on the outside of the pair of this contact. Stroll hits the inside wall and hits me. Luckily, we don't hit the wall and we come away unscathed. Maybe some scratches on the side of the car, but that's okay. And we're up to P12, so that's a good start from us so far. And making the outside work around turn 3 there.
Alright, well done off the line, we're in a good position.
Yep, cheers Jeff. We're now currently behind Kimi Raikkonen, so let's see if we can try and get past him. He's lost the place at the start for Devon Butler, and he's also on the medium, so let's see if we can get past him, because I want to be, you know, much further ahead in terms of the medium tyre runners. So let's get a head down, let's see if we have the pace to get past him here. So far so good though, no complaints. As far as Baku goes, we've got a nice gap behind. I think Stroll, because he hit me, he's got front wing damage, so he's holding everybody up behind him. So that's going to give us the breathing room. Also Perez as well, quite slow there in the Renault. He's defending from Butler, as Butler sends one down the inside. He's also on the soft tyres. So here we go then. These 3 are kind of falling away from the pack here, so we might get an opportunity to line up a pass. We're already in rich mix and hot lap ERS mode. No DRS just yet, so it's going to be pure slipstream, and everyone's squabbling for position. And look at the speed difference we have here. We've got the best tow out of everybody, and we're going to power past all 3 of them as we make the move to P9 and into the points. There's battling going on in front. We're going to take the apex at turn 1, And there we go, up to 9th place, absolutely fantastic. And what a brilliant triple overtake that was, timing it to perfection and striking while the iron's hot. And there we go, so far so good. Then on to lap 2, let's get a head down and try and stay in front of Devon Butler if we can. There's lots of battling going on in front, so let's try and cash in on that. We've got another situation here. I'm in hot lap mode and rich mix, but look at this, Weber, Verstappen, oh my god, that's close. Leclerc trying to get a toe here. We're going to try and make a move happen. We're going to pull to the left hand side, and I think it might be 4 wide here on the pit straight. Who's got the best straight line speed as we go down towards turn 1?
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
We're going to pick up the inside line there and up to P6. Another triple overtake. Weber sends one down the inside. There's contact, but I'm going to stay in front. Can we keep Weber behind here? He does have DRS, so we're going to have to show him the long way around. Here comes Devon Butler as well in the Mercedes. I'm on the inside line. Weber's going to give me just enough room to turn in, but Weber stays in front. He re-overtakes us and he takes P6, but that is a good bit of racing from us again there, being very clever, very tactical, and just staying close through Sector 2 and the start of Sector 3, and then making sure that we're close enough that we can make an overtake happen on the straight. The bad news is Devon Butler's behind, so he's got past everybody as well, which is annoying, but let's try and stick with Weber here as best as we can and try and get past Valtteri Bottas, who is the next car up the road. So far it's been an explosive, but good start to the race for us because we've really been efficient with their overtaking. Personal best Sector 2. Stay close to Weber through here, we'll pick up DRS. There we go, that should do it. I'm not going to run a high engine mode. I don't really want to pass Weber because it's going to cost me time. I want to stay competitive and I want to try and pass Bottas efficiently. So we'll just follow Weber for now, use his toe as we set a personal best.
Gap to teammate ahead is 8.7 seconds.
There you go, that's the update in terms of where the leaders are. They're currently battling, you can see on the mini-map where they are, having a pretty intense scrap. Meanwhile, we're going to see if we can try and get an overtake on Bottas here. Weber with a good exit, he's going to get the run on the racing point here. Let's see if we can try and stay close and not let him get away too far. Weber's going to go on the outside. Bottas on the inside, side by side. Bottas is slow on the exit, he gives me a squeeze. Wow, that was a big squeeze there. Bottas really not letting me go through. I held my breath there. Pretty scary action, and now Butler's down my inside. We're going to show him the long way around here. Butler's going to try, but no way through there, mate. Let's put him in the back foot quite badly. Let's try and catch up to Bottas. And this time it should be a pretty straightforward overtake on the racing point. Not as close as last time, or, you know, as scary as last time. This should be fairly straightforward. Here we go. Just going to use a little bit of rich mix until we get to the DRS zone and make sure we get in front and on the racing line before turn 1, preferably. Here we go, we're gaining on Bottas here. He defends a little bit. He's going to go a little bit of a move to the inside, but it's a bit pointless as we take the position. And we are now back in front of Valtteri, a little bit deep into turn 1 there.
Good job.
Yep, cheers, a little bit deep, and that's going to invite Valtteri back down the inside. He's got a bit of wing damage, you can see on the front right. He's got a bit of end plate missing. We're going to stay in front, but now he's going to have DRS here, so we need to try and cover the inside and let him work for it around the outside. Inside line for me. We're going to just squeeze him there. And there we go, up to P6, this time definitive. And Bottas has got Devon behind, so let's use this as a chance to try and stretch the gap a bit and try and pull away from the Mercedes of Devon Butler. Okay, Devon Butler makes the move up to P7. We've got a nice gap. Personal best, not quite. We're keeping Weber in our sights, he's not running away from me. Also, Sebastian Vettel was actually leading the race up until that point. Lewis Hamilton has now overtaken him, of course, in the much quicker Red Bull, but Sebastian's P2, a much better race for him. Hopefully he can keep that up. But we're in the race here with the strategy. It's really bringing us into contention. If these guys two-stop, we should be the net race leader. So this is looking very good. At the minute, the pace is fantastic on this tyre. I've got to say, really, really happy that the pace is good. Personal best, there we go. As Gasly pits in. I was 1.2 up in Sector 2, but of course, due to slipstream, we lost a lot of ground.
You're in the top 10.
Yeah, we are. And it's looking pretty good. But yeah, that was my first clean lap, 42.8. That's good pace. It was actually a little bit quicker than Weber there. I think the softs are starting to fade because obviously we saw Gasly in the pit lane, so those soft tyres should be coming towards the end of their life cycle. Apparently the maximum you can go is 9 laps. So yeah, those should be fading right about now. So it's about right that we have a little bit more pace.
Sebastian is in the pits.
He's in the pit lane along with all the other front runners except for Lewis Hamilton, sorry, who stays out for one more. And let's see what happens here. This could be interesting. They're going to go for the hard tyres and try and get to the end. So we should have a tyre advantage in this race come the second half of the race if we run the hards. I'll see how long I can take these, because if I can run the soft tyre, which I have plenty of, then that'd be great, but I'm not sure if the medium stretch that far. Okay, there we go, Lewis Hamilton in the pit lane. He's also going to strap on the hard tyres and go to the end, as expected, as we inherit P1 in this race. What recovery from P15 on the grid up to P1, at least for a couple of laps. I'm expecting Devon Butler to pit in as well. There you go, as Gasly takes P3, and Lewis rejoins behind us on fresh hards, so there's the gap. Let's try and stay as long as we can on these tyres, and let's see if we can try and keep a decent pace. Running at some decent pace at the minute. I've started running limits in traction zones, and it's given me a bit more lap time. I was about a second off my personal best, give or take, and I just started dropping it down to lean in traction zones, and it's got me back onto like personal best pace. So very good stuff. We're keeping Lewis behind, and he hasn't actually set a purple lap, which is quite surprising. And Sebastian is still P3, which is good to see. So seems like the Ferrari is a bit more better suited to this race circuit than maybe some of the other ones we've been to. So let's keep going.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Yep, we're going to pit in. Lewis behind us, of course, looking for a move. We're going to just make sure we make it very clear that we're pitting in, so we'll stay to the left-hand side and let him take the racing line. Very good stint from us, very happy with it. We're now going to go into the hard tyres and hopefully have a good stop. So here we go, let's have a good entry. Get all slowed down, there we go. That was a little bit conservative, but better safe than sorry. Let's have a good stop now, come on boys.
Release.
That'll do, 2.1, I'll take that. We should rejoin P6, it seems, at the minute. We've got Raikkonen in the pit lane, hopefully P6. Come on, let's rejoin here if we can on fresh hards.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
There we go, perfect. Nice bit of clean air. No one really near me behind, and we're on the hard tyres. Butler's a little bit further back, so we've actually extended our gap over Devon Butler by staying out longer. We've got Magnussen and Weber in front, and then also we've got Gasly a bit further up the road. So let's get to work and let's get after these guys. We're going to have fresher tyres. I'm going to focus on scoring the fastest lap, so I'm going to charge everything up this lap and get ready for our Banzai next time round, and hopefully that will get us closer to the cars in front. But dare I say, if we have good pace in these tyres, we could catch all the way up to Sebastian Vettel and P2 in this race. So let's get to work. There's big points on offer. Right, I'm going to go for it now, see if I can get this purple lap. The problem is I think I might catch up / encounter Magnussen and Weber midway through the lap, because they're going to be battling. Either way, let's give it a crack. Putting the pressure on K-Mag here big time. We've actually got a huge run here with the slipstream. I'm going to pull to the inside. It's a big squeeze. Warning for a collision with Magnussen there, but we're going on the inside. I think he's hit the wall, but nothing I can do. We were side by side. I had the inside line. We're still on for a better lap here, personal best at least, but now we should get the perfect toe from Weber, hopefully. I'm going to use some overtake to really close up to him and see if we can pick up some DRS and get that long distance toe from the Red Bull. Okay, here we go. I think we've got it perfect, so this should help to give us the fastest lap of the race if we time this right. I'm about to run out of ERS, so I'm relying on pure slipstream here. Here we go. Is it enough?
We're trailing our teammate by 8.0 seconds.
Unfortunately not enough, as Magnussen pits in, so whatever happened, he got enough damage to have to pit in and get a new front wing. So yeah, we didn't do the lap, unfortunately. We didn't go purple, even though with that good toe we lost too much time battling with Magnussen, which is what I was worried about. So I'll maybe try later on. I should have fresh tyres for the end of the race anyway, so I might try again once the fuel's burn off a little bit and charge everything up. But for now, we're behind Weber here, and I don't really want to battle too much because he's going to be obviously the quickest guy on track along with Lewis. So if we can follow him, he should drag me up to Gasly and Sebastian Vettel in front. So let's get to work and let's see if we can try and follow him for a little while and also keep our tyres in good condition. I've got really good pace at the minute, and DRS is making it very easy to keep up with Lucas Weber here, because Sector 1 is where I normally lose about a second to 8/10 compared to the Red Bulls, but because of the DRS obviously they're not getting that advantage, and then for the rest of the lap I'm more or less the same. So at the minute it suits me very nicely, and I'm managing to charge up my battery and my fuel, and we are catching.
Think you can get past, increase ERS deployment to overtake mode.
You see, I would, but I know I'm not going to be able to pull away, and then we're going to lose time battling, so I'm happy to just sit behind and let him lead the way, because we are catching Gasly and Sebastian Vettel. So yeah, we'll just keep with it. It's working, you know, there's nothing wrong with the method, and also, dare I say, you know, if I see that we're not catching anymore, then I'll make a move happen, but for now it's working fine. So don't change it if it ain't broke, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, let's just stick with it. the fresher tyres should also play effect as well, because these guys are going to be on their hards about 5 more laps than me, which is going to help me out in the long run. So yeah, I've still got one eye on that fastest lap. I think we still can get it. So yeah, I can't lie, it makes a big change, you know, for once, to be competitive around Baku, because I've struggled for pace around here since F1 2017. The AI have been so strong, and I think I found the right difficulty for this one, because sure, I'm keeping up with the Red Bull, which I shouldn't be doing in a way, but a lot of that is just logical in the sense that it's down to slipstream and tyres. My tyres are 5 laps fresher, and I've got an incredible toe, and that's making it very easy for me to keep up with him. I'm not even using DRS at the minute because I'm gaining too much, and I want to make sure he doesn't go defensive and lose time. So yeah, we're doing a good progress here. We're starting to run out of laps though, so I'm looking at the next lap thinking to myself, you know what, if I can't really make much more progress, I might have to make a pass, because I'm saving up fuel and the ERS here for a big charge. So let's see how it goes. I might, to be fair, pass him on this lap at the end of the lap and see if I can get a slingshot with DRS on the main straight.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
And at the same time get that purple lap, so we'll give it one more go. So yeah, let's maybe prepare a pass on Weber here and make that push towards Butler and Sebastian.
Push, push. ERS to overtake.
Yep, it begins, don't worry Jeff, here we go. I've got plenty of rich mix, I should have enough for at least 2 full laps. But here we go, then we're gaining on Weber here. We're going to make a simple pass with DRS, we're going to chase that purple lap and make some progress and try and catch up to Gasly first of all, and then Sebastian Vettel. Gasly currently holds the purple lap, so let's try and knock him off that spot. Let's see how much pace we have, let's give it everything we've got. Use these fresh tyres.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.9 seconds.
Much better lap this time. My second sector on my previous personal best was a bit scruffy. This time we're 9/10 up, and we've also left Weber behind. We've pulled out over a second gap. So here we go, this is it then guys. This is the charge. I'm going to leave it in hot lap until we cross the line, then we're going to have to leave it back in medium. But I'll keep using this fuel.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
Right, here we go. There he is, purple lap, 47. Let's keep pushing. 3 full laps to go, gap to Gasly 3.5. This is it. I think Weber might have damage just because I'm actually surprised his pace is really poor. He's not really, I think he's slower than Gasly now. So I wonder if maybe he got end plate damage or something, I'm not really sure. I couldn't see, obviously, driving behind him, but he might have wing damage because that's not really the usual pace of the Red Bull compared to Hamilton. So yeah, either way, we're not really making that much progress towards Gasly. I was expecting to make a little bit more. So I'm going to try again this lap and push on. We've got 2 laps to go now, and Gasly isn't really that much closer. Well, we're out of fuel now, pretty much. Rich mix is gone. I'm burning up the rest of my ERS on this straight, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Just we don't have enough pace. Fuel's done. ERS is low.
This is your final lap of the race.
I'm only gaining like 3/10 a lap on Gasly, which is not enough. So yeah, it's going to be P4, I think, which is unfortunate, but still a good haul of points, and I'm happy for Sebastian if he finishes P2 to get those points. He's had a poor season so far, so he's going to need that, and that'll boost him back up to 4th place in the championship. Here we go then, Lewis wins in Baku once again. Sebastian Vettel is looking good to pick up P2, which is great for us as a team, considering we're easily the 4th best car and we're a long way off the top. So that's good news for us. A good 2nd place for Sebastian after a DNF in the last race. And it's going to be a 2-4. We also pick up the fastest lap. The Ferrari is definitely a lot better around here and suited this track a lot more. But here we go, across the line. Grazie ragazzi, forza Ferrari, grande lavoro.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Right, so here we have the final race results as Lewis Hamilton wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's a good thing we set our purple lap when we did, because Lewis would have actually taken the point. If you can see there, he actually went faster than Gasly, and he was the only man to join me in the 1 minute 40. So a very good lap from us, and decent pace overall. I was happy with the car. And the best I've ever driven around Baku, I think, and also the best the car's ever felt. And I'm very, very happy with that. You know, for once I didn't struggle, and 104 was like the perfect difficulty for me around there. Sebastian Vettel P2, very happy for him because he needed that big time. Pierre Gasly P3 for Mercedes, and then we are 4th, but we scored 1 extra point, so 13 for us. And then Lucas Weber and Devon Butler ran out the top 6. Kevin Magnussen, with that incident with myself, he finishes P7, and then he was on a 2-stop as well, so not too bad from him. And then Raikkonen, Leclerc, and Max Verstappen ran out the top 10. But now let's look at the standings, because I'm very happy, really, really happy, because the first 12 races are out of the way, the pain is out of the way, and for the next race we have 2 major upgrades on the way, and we're going to add to that right now. But first of all, looking at the standings, Lewis overtakes Weber for P1. He's now 7 points clear at the top of the table, and we're in the mix. You know, we're only 29 points behind Lewis and 22 behind Weber, and our car is now going to start to get much, much quicker. Sebastian Vettel back up to P4 after that result. He needed that second place, really giving him the advantage, and had he not DNF'd in the last race, he'd be a lot closer to me and a lot further away of Pierre Gasly, who's only 1 point behind him. With that being said, that is it for the drivers. In terms of the constructors, we are comfortably second. We've got a nice gap to Mercedes as well, and we're 69 points behind Red Bull, so we only lost 2 points, I think, in this episode to Red Bull in the constructors. But like I said, now we're going to start making that progress and putting them upgrades on. So with that being said, let's jump into the laptop and let's push on with this Ferrari car.
Judging from today's race, it must be pretty hard to fend off Devon when he wants to pass. It was more like dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Great, well that's everything.
Okay, so it's time for some contract negotiating, and last time I sold myself very short and I didn't do myself any favours, so this time we're going to try and push the boat a bit and push the boundary. So first of all, we're going to go level 3 race bonus, that's like a minimum requirement, and then we're going to go level 2 everything else, and then I'm going to go for hard team goal, and then we'll stay as second driver, and race position I'll go 5th, and qualifying I'll go 5th as well. Let's see what they say. Actually, I'll go 6th in qualifying, and let's see what they say to this first offer.
Okay, that proposal looks good. It seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend.
Wow. Okay, so I'm shocked that was accepted, so that's fine by me. That's going to help us out a lot. But anyway, we've got 2,400 points to spend, and we have 2 big upgrades on the way for the next race. Being realistic, they could fail, but we're going to add to that here today. So let's have a little look and see where we're lacking a bit. Now, visually, you can see straight away the aero and chassis are lacking, but the chassis this season with the R&D reset, you can see how far down we are. We're actually in the second half of the table, so we are going to work on the chassis, and we're going to do at least 2 upgrades here. So the first one's going to be for the weight redistribution, the second one's going to be for weight reduction, and then do I go for a tyre wear, which is going to cost me 720 points? Do I have enough for aerodynamic? Let's have a look. 714. Not quite enough, so I'm tempted to do an aerodynamic one, but also that tyre one would be great for strategy. So you know what, I'm going to go for a triple. Actually, no, I can't. Okay, there you go. So we've only got 2 per department, unfortunately. So in that case, that's going to pretty much confirm that we are going to go for aero, unless fuel-wise, 1 week for fuel consumption. That could be a good one, to be fair. We are slipping behind in the engine department a little bit, so yeah, we'll go engine, because the aero I'm second best still, so we can afford to wait a bit, so we'll go for another engine one. So there we go. That's not for performance necessarily, but that'll be for just overall consistency. And to be fair, with these upgrades, we're not even going to overtake Mercedes, but we should be pretty much neck and neck, depending on what upgrades they bring, and also Haas as well. So we're going to pretty much half the gap to Red Bull. You look at the R&D graph. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Some big upgrades on the way, and to be exact, there's going to be 5 upgrades for the next race. So let's hope they all arrive and nothing happens, knock on wood. But that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. And if you did enjoy it, drop a like, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.